Lord of the Rings is something I like. I like the idea of fantasy adventure. I understand Tolkien's lore and diversity, and I don't appreciate what Amazon and some of the people that support Amazon are doing. So basically, if you don't know, what's happening is they're changing the complete lore. They're changing all the races and how the races look because they think it should reflect the problems of today. So what they're trying to say is Tolkien was racist himself, and you're going to see that argument in here, because all the people that the white people were fighting were people of color. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Matter of fact, there was no racism in Lord of the Rings at all until Amazon got a hold of it. So Lord of the Rings diverse casting in Amazon's new series is an opportunity to update unacceptable tropes. The unacceptable tropes is that everybody should be gay, white, female, or black. No more white people. That's the unacceptable tropes, what they're trying to say, right? So The Lord of the Rings, a work of epic scale, portraying races of imaginary beings in a medieval skew setting in Middle-earth. Fans argue that Tolkien never described elves, dwarves, or hobbits as anything but white and claim that the casting is disrespectful to the books. They've also complained about the dwarf woman not having beards. They also complained about the hair is supposed to be long. That is described in the books, right? So despite Tolkien's overall message of friendship and cooperation as raging against the Nazis, the face of evil in Middle-earth is invariably non-white, non-Europeans. So what they're trying to say here is what I mentioned earlier, that Tolkien used white people to kill everybody else off that was colored races, if you want to call it that, people of color, whatever you want to call it. So what they're saying is, why is everybody that's non-white the evil people in Middle-earth? And this is the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard, but they're going to continue this. So this person, Dimitri, sorry if you hear that dog in the background, I can't stand that damn dog. So J.R.R. Tolkien's much-loved fantasy, The Lord of the Rings, is a work of epic scale portraying races of imaginary beings set in Middle-earth, accumulating a battle of good versus evil. And Peter Jackson's film in the 2000s established an icon, which is true. Many fans loved it and considered it sacred because he kept the lore, he kept it to the books. Matter of fact, many people of all races loved that. Blacks, Asians, whites, Mexicans, everybody loved Lord of the Rings. Nobody even considered it racist. Everybody understood it. A lot of people have been reading the books for almost 100 years now. Those books have been out for a long, long time. And, but they're going to continue their argument. Now, Amazon's new adaptation of Tolkien's world is coming to our screens in September. The Lord of the Rings, Reigns of Power, recent reports, and newly released trailer have revealed more details about the plot lines, ramping up anticipation. There is no ramping up anticipation. They've had millions of dislikes on the trailer and barely 100,000 likes on Amazon's. There is no ramping up. This is, matter of fact, somebody else made the point that even Star Wars and Star Trek was about 50-50. We're looking at 90-10 with this. People are not, this is a different fan base than what other people are used to, in respect that this is a very intelligent fan base that understands Tolkien's lore, right? So let's continue. But his diverse casting, which includes non-white actors playing an elf and female dwarf, which caused an uproar in certain quarters of Tolkien's fandoms. Some fans argue that Tolkien never described elves, dwarves, or hobbits as anything but white, and claimed that casting is disrespectful to his books, but this argument is flawed. So now they're trying to say that people who study this, who worship this pretty much, who've been reading the books for years, they're saying that you're the one that's flawed. Amazon is right. First, these imaginary creatures that are always clearly described in original books, Tolkien was more interested in the metaphysical and the biological question. Still, there is some evidence of dark-skinned elves and hobbits and drifts of the Cimmerian and prologue Lord of the Rings. Second, if Tolkien had specific that all elves, dwarves, and hobbits are white, it still wouldn't matter. The adaptations are original culture productions that can imitate, question, and rewrite. See, that's the part that's getting everybody upset. They said that it could be rewritten, it could be interpreted by whoever they want, which is Amazon. It's not being interpreted by the fans who read this. It's not being interpreted by the fans who read the books, the fans that go to their, the Comic-Cons, or the fans that, the ones that really know the lore. They got some fans even can speak Elvish, literal Elvish, just like you have some Star Trek fans that can speak Klingon. And it's to the point now they're attacking the fan base that they need to watch the series. They're attacking the millions and millions of dislikes for hundred thousands of likes on something they spent $1 billion to produce, right? So each an opportunities to update non-acceptable tropes and find ways to represent the normalism of non-white characters. Reinventing Tolkien for the 21st century. That's what they're ticked off about. You shouldn't be reinventing this. It wasn't in their century. It has nothing to do with their century. When they're trying to write this argument, picking on the fan base, all they're doing is reconfirming what the fans are saying about Amazon is correct. You literally use the word reinventing Tolkien. The adaptation theory scholar Linda Hutchison has shown adaptations offer the pleasure of repetition with variation. For example, in 2005, a Nigerian British actor was a cast of Prometheus in the Greek tragedy Prometheus Bound. The version of this play presented an audience with a black Prometheus in chains, bringing to mind images of slavery, adding further layer of complexity to the Titan who suffered for humanity. It would be interesting to see Amazon will use these casting choices to interpret it, critique, and explain Tolkien's work. So they're trying to use race and the problems of race to rewrite Tolkien's when it has nothing to do with the Tolkien lore. That's the problem they're having with everybody. They want to put race in there. They want to put problems in there. And it's making people angry because you're creating a problem when there was none. There was literally no problem until Amazon got a hold of this. But a disgruntled fan might reason, if Amazon must have a diverse cast in a drama, why not stick to having actors of color playing the characters who are dark-skinned in Tolkien's text? But that would be reinforced, racialized view of good and evil Middle-earth. So what they're saying is the dark-skinned people in Tolkien's work are all viewed as evil. So what they're trying to say is, well, if he did that, then all the whites would be good and all the blacks would be evil. You didn't understand what Tolkien wrote. It has nothing to do with racism. You cannot get your problems today out of your damn head, and you're trying to force something on a fan base that's not going to accept it. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. Despite Tolkien's overall message of friendship and cooperation, is evil raging against the Nazis, the face of evil in Middle-earth is non-white Europeans. So Tolkien's, what they're trying to say is only white Europeans are evil. Why are they attacking the colors? Tolkien's portrayed the orcs, legions of the evil creatures, and most men who are themselves with Sauron, the arch-villain of LOTR, use many stereotypes associated with Orientalism. Language of prejudice often found in literature from the area of British imperialism. Tolkien was born and grew up in the late Victorian and Edwardian periods, reproducing a white, non-white divide along moral lines would endorse a very old-fashioned, harmful, and physical characteristics and moral choices. He didn't write that. He didn't put that in his books. That's not what it's about. Once again, you never read the books. You don't know. You don't know why he did that. It has nothing to do with that kind of racism. Jeez, oh pizza. The stupidity of this argument. But Tolkien would have hated it. Even if he somehow knew that Tolkien would have thought about a new Amazon series, it wouldn't matter. The author said to his rights to The Lord of the Rings during a lifetime and signed away his right to have substantial influence over any new adaptation. So what they're saying is, too bad you signed it away. Now we got a hold of it. Now we're going to make this racist as possible. And if you don't like it, it's because you're racist, not us. But some believe Tolkien was writing a mythology for England. He used myths and texts from Germanic cultures, which is true. That's what he did. That had nothing to do with people of color. However, Tolkien never actually referred to his work in this way. Actually, he did quite a bit. By the way, there's whatever. I just keep reading the stupidity. The phrase of this introduction by his biographer, whatever. 1951, letter to potential editor. Tolkien stated that he intended to dedicate his work to England, but the same letter also wrote that he wanted to leave space for other minds and hands. So what they're trying to say is, oh, Tolkien wanted this. This is what Tolkien wanted. He would love to have this kind of change. He never said it was all about the white races. But why would an audience these days think that England is white anyway? The country has become a vibrant melting pot which people of color are very much a part. You're talking about today on Earth. This is Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. It's not the same damn Earth. Jeez, oh pizza, how stupid are you? In any case, the idea that people of color were not part of Britain, Northern Europe, and ancient medieval past is false. There's plenty of evidence diversity of Roman and Britain. For example, as for Vikings, they were not homogeneous or pure racial groups due to lack of trade and raids. More recently, films such as Thor, based on superheroes and Marvel comics, show figures in Norse mythology played by black actors. Oh my God. Oh geez, let's keep going. I gotta take some time. Let me pause for a minute. Okay, I'm back. Any new adaptation for such beloved fantasy with Tolkien's bound to disappoint some more purist fans. By purist, they mean white supremacists, by the way. That's what they mean. So if you're not a fan of the new Amazon work, somehow you're white supremacist. So all you black channels out there that are run by black people that love Lord of the Rings are against this, somehow even you are a white supremacist. That's what they're going to call you, right? Once it airs, the new Amazon series will be critiqued by academics and fans alike for many of its choices regarding plot, characteristics, and setting. But judging by the cast and based on skin color and claiming Middle Earth exclusively white is not just misguided, as clearly exposed with research called Fantasy of Habits of Whiteness. There was no racism. It was never about white. It was never about blacks or Asians until you guys made it that way. You guys are the ones that did this. You guys are the ones that created this problem. And to sit there and call the fans racist for not accepting this is totally unacceptable. As a popular element of 21st century culture, fantasy issues of race, racism, stop saying 21st century culture. That's part of the problem. That's what they're getting mad about you. It is not about the 21st century. Hello? McFly, anybody there? Do you not understand? You literally wrote the problems of already. You literally just put what the problems are going to be, and if you don't like these problems, you're the problem. How stupid is this article?